Hi, my name is Andrea, and in this video, I would like to share about being and feeling lost, my experience of 15 years with myself from being lost to finding my own path, also my experience with people and what you can expect on this journey. I have a lot of insights about being and feeling lost, so I have a lot to share, and I advise you to listen and watch this video carefully and try to put your judgments aside. In this video, we will touch the following topics. What does it mean to be lost, to feel lost? What does it mean to be found? Why are we feeling lost, or why are we lost? And I would like to distinguish these two, because sometimes we are lost, but we are just not aware of it. We spend a lot of money on distractions, or we create ourselves tons of problems so that we don't have to look into our own essence, into the truth. Basically, we don't have the power and the skill set to deal with our own emptiness. I would like to first of all congratulate you because you are getting on track. I know it must feel awkward to be lost. You sort of stuck in helplessness. You are now just getting on track, and you had the power to face your own emptiness, that you are lost. A lot of people are not daring to get so far because they're not able to deal with this feeling. They're not able to deal with the fact that they live in an empty life and they are just following mainstream society. With a lot of people, when we start talking, they start to realize that they are lost, and they start to realize the difference between being lost and being found. And they just realize, oh, wow, I'm so far away from myself. What does it mean to be lost? Being lost is being disconnected from yourself, disconnected from your inner compass. Everybody has a compass that feels and knows what is right, what is wrong, that feels into other people, feels into the matrix, feels into energies. We all get that deep inside, but it's just dimmed from early childhood because we are learning that we have to listen to our parents, we have to agree with them, we have to follow their rules and terms. Otherwise, we might get hurt, we might get abused, we might get rejected, and we lose love. So what we do is we start following love, and we want to please people, and we want to feel safe. And this all happens in order for us to feel safe, because we are little, we are exposed, we are vulnerable, we are helpless, we are not self-sufficient. And this is the strategy that we build. But the problem is that in a lot of families, the life strategies are out of date. People don't have the right strategy for success, for happiness, for confidence, for fulfillment, for power, for love. So what happens is we learn all those strategies. At the same time, we are feeling safe. At the same time, we please those people, and that's how we grow up, and that's how we get out in life. And we have no clue that we lost track of ourselves, because at the same time, you had to give up on yourself. You had to give up on your inner voice, who you are deep inside, that beautiful, magical being that of course has to be conditioned, has to adapt to this life as a human being. But there was nothing that would align these two. So you start following mainstream society, but that's just so far away from you. So you're stuck in your head, in your comfort zone. Feeling lost is part of the awakening process. To admit that you are lost, to admit this feeling is very hard. It puts you most of the time in a helpless position, and it takes a lot of courage. So right now, I want you to congratulate yourself that you are getting on track to reconnecting with yourself, to aligning your inside world with the world outside. Now for that, you need tools and techniques. Your parents don't have that. Some parents have good life strategies, or some good life strategies, and there are more successful and less successful parents and families and people and men and women. So you can learn a lot from them, but the rest you have to learn it by yourself. And if you don't learn it, you're just lost. Feeling lost means that you admit that you are lost, so you are open to finding ways to yourself to understand this feeling, to get you out of this chaos. So yeah, congratulations, you just became a seeker. What are you seeking? You are seeking the truth. You are seeking yourself. You are seeking understanding. You are seeking fulfillment. But fulfillment comes from the soul. The mind has only satisfaction. The mind can be satisfied, but the fulfillment, the sense of fulfillment, comes from the soul. So you have to connect with your soul. And yes, now we arrive to the spiritual realm. We are not just material. We are not just flesh and bones and eyes and brain. We are way more than that. And the way we perceive the world defines our lives. And we are able to develop these skills. We are able to develop the right life strategies. We are able to redefine ourselves. But it has to happen all in alignment with your true self, with your soul, decomposing everything that is not you. And starting to define more and more exactly who you are. Who am I? What do I want? What do I love? What do I adore? Which way I want to go? What do I want to try out? What is that I would love to explore in this life? Life is supposed to be a journey. It's supposed to be a game. And you're supposed to feel on a playground where you can play without fear. But therefore, you have to remove your fears. Therefore, you have to learn to deal with your fear. You have to be able to judge what is safe and what is not safe. What is safe to break through because it's a false fear, is something that's hindering you on your path, or what is good to respect, to say, okay, I have fear of this and I don't want to go beyond that because it's dangerous. So we have this monkey brain and we don't know how to use it properly. When something happens and we get triggered, we are just drawn by those feelings and emotions, and the mind is out of control, and we are not able to take the control back. We are not able to assess the situation with cold blood, although that's what we should do. Although we should sort out our own triggers, why we get triggered, why we react to a certain situation in a certain way. What does it mean to be found? To be found means that you have clarity upon your strengths and weaknesses, and you are in the process of transforming your weaknesses into strengths, to processing and changing life strategies, recrafting who you are in alignment with what your plans are, what your goals are, what your dreams are, in alignment with your soul, and your soul is getting in alignment with your mind, meaning that what you think is aligned with what you feel, what comes from inside with that gut feeling. Being found means that you're observing yourself. You are self-aware. You notice whenever you get triggered. You notice whenever you get stuck in fear, and you process that. You move beyond your fear. You process your inner misery through what happens in the world outside. It means that you are on your path and you are more and more focused on your path, because there's still tendencies of mainstream society trying to take you away, outer influences, people who would try to hold you back or take you on a different track, but you are more and more on your track, pursuing your goals, your dreams. Being found means that you are very connected with your senses, and you can see and read through people and through yourself. You cannot get mistaken because you already have a knowledge about human psyche. You know how to be in a flow with people. You know how to overcome conflicts. You know how to handle situations. You are already not judgmental, and you are in the process of working on your judgments because you observe yourself. Therefore, You build this beautiful connection with your people around, and your energy shifts in a way that you're further and further away from toxic people. And the negative things cannot get you triggered anymore. You don't have those triggers inside, so you don't attract them. And you have the power to get them out of your world, or still they can stay in if they shift into positive, into a loving and mutually uplifting connection. Being found means that you're in an instant connection with yourself, looking at the feedback of what you get from inside, your inner voice, how you feel on that day, what you think. You can go deep down, you can dig into yourself, you can figure those things out, and you are able to bring yourself back to the state of flow over and over. It means that you have a daily routine that keeps you on track, that moves you forward, and that keeps you high in a flow. Being found means that you have this clarity upon life, what is true, what is lie. You see through mainstream society, and still you have this clarity about what you want and who you are. And nobody and nothing can get you out of this. Being found means that you're on this beautiful journey of self-discovery, self-healing, and self-work. And you are not afraid anymore to step into your challenges, to look into the truth of who you are, to look into your weaknesses, to look into your problems, because you already know how to process those negative emotions, how to move beyond your fears, resentment, hate, anxiety. So you know how to deal with your system, you know how to go up and down on this emotional ladder, and how to bring yourself back always into this state of balance. You develop these beautiful self-supportive life strategies that keep you on track, that help you get you focused. You are able to hold space for your life. You are able to say no to toxic, to negative. You are able to create your boundaries, knowing who you are, and you don't let people take advantage of you. You are able to develop those mutually uplifting connections and find the right people on your path with whom you can mutually support each other. You build confidence, wisdom, and this inner unshakable stability, because you get the clarity of who you are and what you want. You get the clarity of people, of life, what you need and what you don't need. All based on this inner compass, your soul. And all of a sudden, your life isn't flat anymore, because you have the choice to resculpt your life, yourself. Your decisions will change, your energy level will change, your whole life will change, because you're becoming a better and better version of yourself. You become empowered to be who you truly are. So why are you feeling lost? Why are you lost? First of all, because nobody could teach you and show you what life truly is about. We have a lot of out-of-date strategies. Our parents have been through very tough times. There's no mindfulness. There's no self-awareness, which means that you need to learn it in case you want to feel the emptiness. Then you don't have the clear understanding of yourself, of your strengths, of your weaknesses, and what you can do about it, how you can recraft yourself, how you can bring out your full potential, how you can become fulfilled. You need techniques and you need a lot of self-awareness. A lot of people act like machines, and they are not self-aware whenever they get triggered, whenever they get drawn away by emotions or by thoughts, and they are very judgmental. They get into games, they get into problems, and they are not able to deal with their own drama. They have no skill set and they have no proper techniques. You can learn to handle, to shift your emotions and to balance your emotional state. And then in this modern world, we have a lot of options. We have a lot of technology. We have a lot of abundance. We can buy clothes cheap, and we don't know. We don't find our way through it. We cannot choose wisely. For a lot of people, things are easy, so they are not able to deal with challenges. They don't have the power, the strength, the mindset, the skill set. People want things easy. They are not able and ready to do the work because they don't realize how much they miss out on. So they just live an empty life. And then there is lack of self-connection, of this alignment between your mind, your heart, in your soul, lack of awareness of this connection, not being able to read yourself through your senses, sensing your energy level. For example, if you are with a low energy level, what can you do to increase your energy level? If you are in a negative thought or if you are in a negative mood, what can you do to get yourself out of there? So you are just exposed and basically have no power upon your life because everything that happens to you defines you instead of you defining your life. We are also lost because we are scared of our own uniqueness. And it's a basic animal instinct to belong to the herd because that would keep us safe. But at this point, that is also just about mainstream society's how to distract yourself from facing the emptiness thing, and that doesn't get you closer to yourself. So yeah, you have to get yourself together and get that power to step into your own unique self, holding space for who you are, irradiating in that inner beauty. So what can you do to get out of this situation of being lost? First of all, you have to understand yourself, who you are. You have to understand your soul, your mind, your heart, your energy, your feelings, your thoughts, everything that is your system. Most people have no clue about their own system, so they have even less clue about how they can deal with that. You have to understand how you function energetically, how you function as a thought, how you function as a mind, how you feel from your heart, how you feel from your soul. You have to understand those energies in your body. You have to take control of the process. You have to map yourself up. You map up your weaknesses, you map up your strengths, you map up who you are and where you want to get. As you work on yourself, this will always adjust a little bit because you get to know more and more of yourself. It might be that at a certain stage, you have one goal and you get to another stage, you have a different goal. It might be because you tried out many things so you can make a wiser decision, or you realize that, oh, that's not my path anymore because I wanted to do that only to please people, only to please my parents, or to please my partner, or just to show off. That's not me. So what can I do? And you get closer and closer to yourself because you start to say no to those things that are not you. You need to work out your weaknesses. And this can be very hard because we always want to see ourselves in a good light. We always want to see how amazing we are because we are not able to deal with our weaknesses. But we need to do that in order to be able to fix our issues. And this is a big problem in society, that people just brag, just show off, just show the perfect picture, and they are not able to deal with their weaknesses. So they don't fix it, so they lose track completely. You need to open your senses. What do I mean by senses? Because I get asked this a lot in everyday life as I talk about this to people. For example, mothers know that when you give birth to your baby and your baby is small and cannot speak, can only cry and can only make signs, and you use your intuition to read into what the problem could be. You get connected with your baby more and more. If you are a caring mother and if you care about your child, now you need to develop this intuition with yourself as well. You start feeling into how you feel more and more, the energies inside you more and more, how you react to the world more and more. So you start observing how certain people make you feel or situations make you feel, or where you get triggered, and then you can work on those triggers. You can feel into your actual energy level, and when you notice that you got anxious or you are down, you can start digging and work that out and get yourself back into balance, because life is an instant work on ourselves, facing challenges over and over. The thing is just that you get stronger and stronger on this path, and at one point you just lose your fears and you have this deep sense of connectedness with yourself, with the world, and you have this perfect alignment in your life, and you just have no more weaknesses. You need to develop self-awareness, and I talked about this a lot already. This means that you observe your thoughts. What am I thinking? Why is my thinking around this problem? What could be the solution? Or why am I stuck with this person? When you're stuck in a thought, that means that your mind is considering that a problem, so tries to find solutions for it. Also, you keep thinking about certain things because you feel attraction, or because you're processing a good event, for example, or a person that you just met. But when you're thinking a lot about something, it means that there's feelings that you need to understand, and then you need to understand and decipher your feelings, what you feel, what else you feel. There is a problem, for example, and then you sort out, okay, I feel fear, I feel helplessness, I feel anger, and I feel I cannot do this. So what you do is you shift that. Okay, I've released this and this and this and that, to the point that you're empty, and then, okay, how do I want to feel with the situation? I develop power. Yes, I can sort this out. Yes, I can make this happen. Yes, I will find a way. This all is connected to a life strategy. That reaction of helplessness was a life strategy from your past. And that worked because that kept you in this helplessness, which is a way of solving a problem for the mind, because it made you survive. But you can sort out that problem, and you can shift your thinking, and you can grow bigger, and you can get out of the victim, because most of the times problems come because we are in a victim state. So it is amazing and beautiful when you get that power into your own hands and you know what to do about it, because you are self-aware. You're in charge of your emotions, of your thoughts, of your system, of your power, and you can grow your power, and you can grow your focus, and you can grow your best version. You can remove the negatives, meaning there's a lot of negativity in the world, and some people are surrounded with mostly negative people, and I'm talking about the people who are feeding others with energy, who come from abuse, who were taken advantage of, who were into toxic connections, just like myself. And it took me a lot of work to remove the negativity, the insecurity, the fear, the helplessness, the lack of power, that I was punched in the back, and that people wanted to take advantage of me, and people were jealous of me. So it took a lot of self-work for me to create that energy field around me that would hold space for me, and where I'm safe, and those kind of people cannot get close to me anymore. Also, coming from abuse, I come from a victim mindset, meaning that whenever I got triggered, my strategy was, okay, I get in a victim, just that I lose my power and I get in a helpless situation. But with time, a lot of energy and a lot of self-work, I got myself out of that victim mode, and I chose power. And I said it's okay to react with being powerful and being able to sort out the situation. Because again, imagine if I come from abuse, if I react powerful, we just fight and I get beaten again. So the best strategy was for me to shrink, to become this victim, to cry things out, to drain the negative energies of my parents. And that was what kept me safe. But growing up as an adult, it doesn't work anymore. It doesn't lead me to where I want to be. So I had to shift the situation and I had to develop my powerful self, transforming my victim self. You need to set up your mind to finding your path, which means that a lot of people are lost because there's a lot of confusion in the mind. The mind is an amazing tool that you can calibrate. So you can put in your criteria, you just insert like in a computer, and then the mind makes it work. So when you set up your mind, okay, I will find my path. I release fear, I release resistance, I release this and that. And still, I'm finding my path. You don't know what your path is, but you give your mind this criteria. I find my path. And then step by step, you get closer and closer. And the more you learn to work on this, the faster you get closer to your true path, to your true self. You need techniques. You need tools to learn to deal with your own system. You need to learn to work yourself through the fog and distractions. When you are feeling lost, when you are being lost, when your strategy is to get distracted, to feel this emptiness, that's a strategy. So that's the strategy your mind is tapping into whenever the situation. Now, all of a sudden, you get on your path or you want to find your path and you start working on yourself. This is a new thing. And this is scary for your mind. And this is a new life strategy. So you need to learn to always keep yourself on this new track. And it will happen that you get back to the old track. Maybe you have an addiction and you get back to your own addiction. And you get back to this addiction because it makes you feel safe. And it's okay. But you always realize what's going on and you get yourself back. This is how you own the power and control upon the situation. It's very hard. It's tough to shift, to change, to take this journey. On this path of finding yourself, you get challenged. Your weaknesses get challenged. In the end, you will be strong, powerful, fulfilled. Now you have to get rid of everything that's holding you back. But if your ego is built on your weaknesses, it takes time, it takes patience, it takes effort. And this is why I advise you, if you cannot succeed alone, you can try. But if you cannot succeed alone and you don't feel the progress, then you need to find someone who has your back and who is pushing you, because your power is still not in charge. So you need someone with power and faith in you. You need community, you need leader, you need teacher, you need someone who gives you those shortcuts and techniques that might cost a lifetime sometimes and you never get anywhere. And you rather make that financial sacrifice, but you get there faster, sooner. You just need to find the right people. You need to master the strategies. There's a lot of techniques in life strategies and they are not sophisticated and they are not complicated. You just need to use them whenever the situation. You need to be aware. You need to do the work and then you get progress and you are getting to where you're supposed to be. You just need to keep doing the good work every day and enjoy the process. And it can be very hard whenever you tap into something painful, whenever you find your weaknesses, whenever you feel those impediments in your life, whenever you still hold yourself back because it's only you who can hold you back. It can be very hard, very tough, and very challenging. What you can do is attach good feelings to the journey. You always have to remind yourself of how lucky you are that you can be on this path. Try to take it as an adventure where you learn, where you grow, where you discover, because it's truly amazing as you get to know yourself. And when you get to that stage where you lose your fears and you lose the things that would pull you back, that's where it gets truly amazing. So you always need to keep focused and remind yourself like, yes, I will find my path. And this is an amazing journey. And I just enjoy every minute and second of my life. What is feeling lost is the very start of the awakening process where the normal distractions of mainstream society, your problems and challenges are not able anymore to distract you, so you are facing your inner emptiness. But basically you face this disconnection from life itself in your own soul. Your soul's voice becomes louder and louder and is pushing you to start the journey within. So you become a seeker. A lot of people get stuck in seeking and get stuck in this feeling of helplessness. And I would say that this pain and drama around being helpless in this situation where you label this feeling lost a negative, that gets you stuck in your life and you don't find a path. And many of you don't know what you should look for, which way to go, who to trust. So you just get stuck. Now I would like to show you a very simple exercise. I would like to get you out of the situation if you are in it. And it's very easy. We use the power of affirmations to redefine how we feel. It's the awareness. So becoming aware of how you feel and working on your feeling, you put yourself in a different situation, and that will open the path for your senses and you will attract the path. Okay, so right now I want you to do this with me. First of all, just take a deep breath. In through your nose and out through your mouth, and say that I'm arriving in myself. I'm arriving in myself. I'm present. Breathe again. And now what we will do, we start to feel okay with being lost. And so we say to ourselves, it's okay to feel lost. I'm a seeker. Please repeat this and please do with me this exercise. It's okay to be lost. I'm a seeker. It's okay to be lost. I'm a seeker. And as I said, most of the times there's a feeling of helplessness and fear attached to it. So we want to get rid of these feelings so that we see our situations more clearly. So we say, I release all the fear and helplessness. I find my path. We say it again. I release the feeling of fear and helplessness. I find my path. And we go deeper into this exercise. Still, we keep it very simple, no worries. So I want you to experience a little bit what it means to feel what happens inside of you, what it means to get feedback from inside. So I want you to observe how you feel while you're saying this affirmation. If there's any energy shift, if there's any shift of feeling, if you feel lighter, if you feel anxious, everything is a feedback. There's no good and bad. You just need to learn to read yourself and then work with that. And that takes techniques. So I want you to observe yourself while you're saying this affirmation, and when you breathe out, you release the negative emotions. Try to feel that you release what's accumulated in you. So, I release the feeling of fear and helplessness. I find my own path. Breathe. I release the fear of my path. Breathe. I'm ready to finding my own path. Breathe. Try to feel into how you feel. Try to understand what's going on inside. And basically, this is what you need to learn in order to develop a proper connection with yourself. You need to learn to feel into what's going on, and you need to learn to address that. And you can address that with affirmation, with meditation, with working on your mindset with several techniques. That's also what I teach. But the essence is aligning with yourself, with your senses, reading, addressing, then getting feedback, again adjusting, addressing, getting feedback. So it's this instant communication with yourself. Now, if you stay and think, how many people are connected with themselves this way? They have zero awareness of their emotions, of their thoughts, of their problems. They are just automated machines. It's like using the monkey brain. You have your fears, they are okay, they are there, but you do nothing with that. You have your boundaries. Maybe you have a bunch of bad life strategies that hinder you in your life, but you don't work with that. Maybe there's a lot of toxic people in your life. Maybe you're a people pleaser. You wait for other people's approval. You're not in charge of your own power because you're insecure and you're not able to deal with that. Although you could learn. You have challenges and you have problems, but you are not able to read through that and to address that simply by working on your mindset. And simply by working on your mind, heart, and soul, on your energies, on reading yourself, and doing techniques. There's a lot of change that you can do this way. So right now, I want to just explain very simple things. As you do these affirmations, but these affirmations are created based on what we have right now, addressing the problem, addressing the situation. So we want to get you out of this situation of being stuck in the fear and helplessness of being lost. Now what we do is we remove the negative and we open the positive. And with each and every affirmation, we strengthen this energy. So the energy gets stronger and stronger every time you say it out loud. Now, you need to be gradual with creating this energy, because when it's too drastic, it's too much for the mind and the mind can freak out. So you always need to be self-aware, and you really need guidance if you want to go faster. There's a lot of amazing ways for you to find your own path. There's like a map, there's techniques, there's routines. that you can build this amazing you, self-connected, getting on your path and finding this ultimate fulfillment where you're not empty anymore, where you cannot be fooled by mainstream society anymore. I would like to share my story of being lost and then finding myself, but in a nutshell, because it's so deep and so sophisticated and yet so amazing. So I hope that you get the taste of it and the energy of it, how amazing this journey is. It was about 15 years ago when my life collapsed. I was switching jobs, but nothing really worked out, and I was seeking for something. I was just unaware of what I was seeking for, and I felt like I'm not really appreciated in my jobs, and I'm supposed to get bigger responsibility. I want to lead, I want to get promotion, but it never really happened. I didn't really enjoy it, and I felt like I deserve better, I want better, and it was this inner drive inside me. Now, what happens when what you have is not getting you to where you're supposed to be? It collapses because it has to get together into another form. So this is what happened. My life collapsed professionally, financially, mentally, emotionally, and I was lost. There was only one path, one way out, which was a training, which was spiritual, was also about personal development, it was the very start of me connecting with myself. So what happened was I arrived to that training crying. I lost my phone on the way. I had no money. Together with my husband, we had $20 for the rest of the month, and this is how I took this training and paid the money. I didn't know what's going on. I didn't know what was happening to me. But coming out of this training, I realized that, wow, so all the chaos and drama is in my own head, is because of what's inside me. And if I can change that, I can change my whole life. And I'm not helpless anymore, because I felt helpless, and that was true. But I was just unaware of being lost. So from that on, I went training after training and course in master and healer and teacher and with whatever you can imagine that I could feel that would get me to where I'm supposed to be. It's just that I was so deeply locked down and disconnected that after 7-8 years of learning from others, I went my own path and I started digging myself. By then I had my own students, I had my own followers, and there were always some crazy people to be with me while I was digging in the invisible, in the realms of the soul and in the corners of the mind and energies and dimensions. It was a very deep and interesting journey, and this is also how I became psychic. So I was diving in past lives. This helped me get to my core, get to the core of existence, and get to understanding life as it is, humans as it is. So what happened was, one part of me was going with this gut feeling, and then I was just unstoppable, and I took risks because when I went on this path, I cared about nothing, about money, about my safety, about where I live. So it was a bit challenging. And then there was this other part of me, conditioned by mainstream society, who wanted to be good enough, who wanted to prove, who wanted to perform, who wanted to make things happen. And it felt like sometimes I went this way and sometimes I went that way, until I lost this way at all. So now I'm completely on my path, but this was a bit more sophisticated. On this journey, as I got to know myself and as I aligned with my senses, and as I explored this multifaceted world inside, I was exploring motherhood with these lenses, and then I divorced and I explored men and dating with the same lenses, because I realized that, oh, I'm a masculine woman and I oppress a lot of my feminine. I'm afraid to be in my feminine. And what does it mean to be feminine? What is feminine power? What is true love? What is connection? What is attraction? Why are men this way? Why are women this way? How can I understand men? So it was a deep journey of self-discovery and of discovery and understanding of men and women and this connection, while I was recrafting and sculpting myself and my feminine to be the woman and to understand what it means to be a woman. And on the other side, as a mother, I had to process my childhood trauma. I made the decision that I would not inherit the abuse that I got from my parents to my son, which was very tough and challenging sometimes, because sometimes I had to stop my own hands. I never raised hands on my son. And he's a very balanced boy, very sweet, very adorable. And I'm very happy that I could push myself through these challenges, which was very difficult. And then I created my own business in the heart of the capital city of Budapest, which is a waxing salon, a beauty and waxing salon by now. And this brought a lot of challenges, but I wanted to see how energy works in a business. This gave me also a lot of learning about management, about marketing, about products, about selling, about clients, about my employees, about leadership, all that at a spiritual level. And I would say it took me 10 years to get to a balanced power position. It took me 9 years of dating to understand this whole men, women, true love, myself, and the deepest pattern in this war between men and women for thousands of years. It took me another 11 years to say that I understand motherhood. I'm able to deal with the spiritual part of motherhood, meaning that, for example, there were situations where some energies attacked or possessed my son. There were situations where energies defined the reaction of my son or my reaction. There were past lives and there were trauma and there's the bloodline and there's the heritage and all these interactions. So there was a lot to learn. And then there was this other journey, me, the spiritual teacher, the spiritual healer, with my students, with my followers. A lot of people found me who studied healing techniques, self-work techniques, and then they were healers themselves, but they felt like what they learned is not working or they are still stuck. So my space started where the space of others ended, and I could give them those answers and those tools and techniques so they could apply spirituality in their everyday life, making them grow every day. And there was this intention of me to make the world better. So while I was working and while I was doing a lot of live videos on Facebook and I gathered tens of thousands of followers, it was all about me trying to make the world better, trying to make a difference, trying to see people get a broader horizon and an understanding of life. So I had more and less intense periods of times. I was not always the good leader, I would say, because I had my own trauma and drama, but I always had a good intention. And by now I would say I learned a lot of lessons and I asked for those lessons to become a good leader. So by now I would say I'm ready. And then there is me, Andrea, the person, where it's sometimes hard to deal with the spiritual and then the human and then the different roles. So it's always in an instant balancing mode with all my challenges, because I love to challenge myself. So yeah, I got to a point in my life where I'm very focused, where I even filter my thoughts. So I'm very aware to not waste my thinking on average stuff. For example, I'd rather waste my energy on thinking about important things, about strategies, and about how to make the world better rather than what we eat for dinner. So I'm more spontaneous on that side because I have 24 hours and I need to make use of every bit of energy. I am very conscious about my energy level, so I'm a gym rat and I do a lot of self-work every day. I'm in this self-awareness mode. I would say I'm also in this alpha mode where I'm instantly processing and meditating. So my mind is working at many levels at the same time. I know how to deal with those challenges in my life, and sometimes things explode because I break through, but still I get back to this balance mode. And I always have this power mindset that I can do this, I can sort this out no matter what comes my way. I try to embrace every role that I have as a woman, as a partner, as a mother, as a business owner, as a spiritual leader, as a psychic, as a human being. There are moments when I'm surrounded with a lot of people, and there are moments when I need time and space for myself to clear my thoughts, to find my balance, to recalibrate my focus and my goals. And I love contemplating about the big questions of life. Spiritually, the first 7 to 8 years was more about learning, but then I felt like I need a strategy that works fast enough and is solid enough that would help me achieve my goals and get to my full potential as soon as possible. And there were times when I had big Facebook groups, 7,000, 10,000 people, and those people were very active because I pushed them and I was exploring techniques and I was developing my methods based on their feedback and see what it works and what doesn't work. So I developed my own method, which is using very simple tools and techniques that you can find out there. What's missing is the essence of it, which is this connection with the self. So it's not about reading cards, it's not about other tools, it's about connecting with yourself, aligning your senses, getting to know your mind, heart, soul, body, energy level, reading through it, and with this instant feedback, addressing to the different problems and challenges that you need to work on. So we basically use the affirmations, we use guided meditation, an amazing tool to heal trauma of the past, and we use mindfulness and self-awareness to observe yourself. And then if you build all this into your everyday routine and you devote like 30-60 minutes of your day to working on yourself, to summarizing the day, to understanding what happened, to keep yourself on track, then you're going like a rocket. And then if we talk about techniques and different methods that you can find out there, I'm more promoting those that make you the one responsible, that you have to do the work, because it all depends on you. Because there are some methods that only transmit energy, and then there are some people and therapists that make you dependent on them or on that system. My goal is to give people the basics and then make them more and more self-sufficient so they can use everything for the rest of their lives. Seeing my experience of people along more than a decade, I would advise you to find someone who can teach you the shortcuts, who you can trust, who is powerful enough to trust. So you need to find a good teacher, leader that you can rely on, because might be that at this point of feeling and being lost, you are not in the position to be strong enough to keep yourself on track, because your mindset is still very confused and all over the place. So you end up in distractions and end up being surrounded by the people who hold you back. And when you can develop this love bond with someone you follow who is already where you want to be, who is authentic, that will move you from the heart. When you get a community on the side, it is even more amazing because you can connect with like-minded people. And I see sometimes it's a very big issue that people are isolated and the people around them don't really get it. So they have no one to talk things out with. They are not understood. They are lonely. So many times they give up for this reason. So yes, I would advise you to find your tribe, find your leader, and then money. I know that money is a big issue. It has always been. But let me tell you one little example from when I was exploring my method with the crowds, with the big groups. So what happened was, so I created some challenges and I had this big group of 10,000 people. And I knew that my method and my techniques worked. So they just had to do it. And I was trying to find all the ways to push them because I knew if they did it, they get the results. Now, what happened was I made it free for them. I said, there is nothing to stop you. It is all here for free. But what happened was a lot of them came up with different arguments. And they came up with that because they had fear of change, because they were not ready, because they couldn't understand what they get in return, and because they were in a victim mode. I realized that money was not the issue. The issue was that they were not ready. So when you're ready and when you truly understand what that means and what change that can bring in your life, that's when you want to make things happen. Because yeah, people buy the iPhone even if they have no money, but they show off and they, oh, I have the iPhone and I'm in this iPhone tribe and iTribe. I understand, but we don't look at things based on what the value we get. We go to the store and we buy all the clothes because we are so empty inside and we want to follow the trends and we want to be like our friends, and we are so stuck in life. So that makes us happy for a moment, but that's it. And at the same time here, you invest into yourself, so you make an effort. And when you pay for what you sign up for, then you cannot abandon it. When you don't pay for it and it's free, there's no responsibility. Oh, I do it or I don't do it. There's nothing to lose. But when you pay for it, there's something to lose. So you will do it and you have to do it. And then you get the results. And you always need to look at, okay, if I sign up for this, if I take this, what is the value that I get out of it? Is it worth it for me? I can give you a lot of examples that my students had as improvement in their lives, and let me share with you some of them. They learned to handle emotional imbalances, had a clear map of understanding themselves. They know how to shift their weaknesses into strengths. They accumulate this drive and this power that they have control upon their lives, and they build confidence and strength, and then they are not afraid of challenges anymore. Let's say a challenge is a new job. Let's say a challenge is a promotion, or moving somewhere else, or trying out something different. And that comes back also financially. They learn to say no whenever they have to and create proper boundaries that would filter toxic people around them. So doing so much work on themselves, abusive people change into supportive people and mutually uplifting connections. And that's a huge plus, because you cannot imagine how much abusive and negative people drain your energy so that you are stuck in your life and you just cannot get out of your rabbit hole, and that costs you a lot of time, energy, and money. There's a lot of the times shift of lifestyle, losing weight, becoming more feminine, more sexy, more confident. There is a deeper and very solid self-love in knowing how to come back to it whenever you get triggered. Better connection with family, children, deep understanding of these connections, and avoiding games and drama. Knowing how to deal with triggers and self-heal when needed. Not afraid of challenges. Financial improvement, which means better job, better salary, or daring to step on your own journey, starting your own company, getting new opportunities in your company because your energy is shifting, understanding why you are stuck financially, professionally, or in your company. More confidence, better relationship with yourself, with your partner, with others. Daring to dream, plan, but above all, daring to fail because you fail several times until you succeed. So this is a skill you need to master. You cannot be afraid of failure and taking risk. And that's what makes you the most alive. Learning how to consciously get out of your comfort zone and process your fears and push yourself through your own limits. They became very self-aware, energy level aware, knowing how to increase their energy levels, connecting with their own source of energy. And I want to explain this for a little bit, since people have no access to themselves because they are stuck in their head, stuck in their fears, stuck in their comfort zone. So there's no way to fill up through the heart, through the soul, from your own source. And that's why they get drained and they get older faster. They lose their energy and they need other people to drain energy from them because they are not able to provide energy for themselves. Like, you can see people that are full of energy and they are surrounded with people who need their energy, and there are people who have no energy and they need other people's energy. And then there are people who are living off of other people's energy, and they are clearly energy vampires. Learning all this, you learn how to have access to your own energy and make it unconditional and unlimited. Where can you fail? Because you can fail. And this is why I said you need someone to grab your hand, to have your back, who you can rely on, whose energy is pushing you, because then you are sharing energy. So you are not alone anymore and you feel more empowered. But where you can fail? When you are not ready and you get distracted easier. Even if you are ready, you can get distracted because there's several fears and a lot going on in your subconscious mind. But when you're not ready, you get distracted. And that's why I don't encourage programs and trainings that rely on impulsive buyers. When you are a proper teacher and a leader, you need to understand that this is something you need to be ready for. This is not impulsive, because then people would bounce off. And then why would you get the money of those people who are not ready? Are you so greedy? I'm not really fond of those trainers. And you need to watch out and be very mindful. You need resilience, consistency, and focus. So you need to do the hard work every day, no matter what your monkey brain is telling you. You need to stay consistent and you need to keep your focus. You can adjust a little bit as you see more of the picture and you realize, oh, I want something else, and it's okay. But still, you need to keep focus. As I said, you can't fail because you try alone and then you fail. And then you say, oh, these teachers are greedy, so I'm not going to invest money. So you try out all the free stuff, but they don't get you committed to that level. You don't put that effort in it. You don't have the same understanding. You don't have the same level of knowledge. And you think that you save money, but you waste a lot of money that you could have earned if you invest and do the hard work. A lot of the times I see people that they are not ready for the positive change, and it's a process that you learn to receive positive change, that you learn to get to know this new you. And as an example, I would bring up the weight loss challenges, where some people give up because they are so acquainted with their old self that they get freaked out of the new self, who is slim, who is sexy, who is beautiful. And there's a lot of things going on in the background, being afraid of being beautiful, having some trauma and some drama. This is what I'm talking about, that some people get freaked out, and it takes time until your mind and your whole system gets okay with this journey and with this power and with this knowledge and with this freedom that you get on this path. Then, as I already explained, if you invest money into yourself, then you hold yourself accountable because you have fear of loss, and that pushes you to do the work because you don't want to waste your money, instead of taking something free and way more simple, where you don't have that same assistance, that same guidance. And then the habit of following your path. So until you are not having this habit developed, there's a lot of things that might distract you, that might slow you down, that might pull you back, and that's okay. But if you always remind yourself, okay, where am I heading to? Where's my path? Then you can push through this. But a lot of people I see failing here. Then I want to address the question, can you do it, or why you should do it? I do believe that you can do it. Under the right circumstances, in the right situation, you can do it, and there is the way that you get there. You just need to want it badly enough and do the work every day. Stay consistent. And some people can go for it alone, but some people need guidance. Why you should do it? I would relate to my own life story. And if I look back at the Andrea who started this journey, who was very masculine, who had no style, who was full of oppressions, who was anxious, who was very offensive and defensive, who had a lot of drama, who was in this victim mode. And I look at myself right now, where I'm aware of my system. I'm in charge of my system. I'm in charge of my life. I created my life on my terms. So I have my business. I have the things that I love doing. So for me, work is not work. And I love working. I can combine that with the things that I love doing. I love working with people, and I could process a lot of the judgments that I had with people. So I had a very deep understanding of people. I know the goals that I want to achieve, and I know how to get myself there. And I got rid of so much negativity. But above all, if I look into the mirror, I love the woman and the human that I'm seeing. And now I say, okay, you did a great job, but I want to make a difference with it. And this helps me stay in my heart and live from my soul. So everything that I'm doing, I do in this deep self-connected state. And I give and receive. And this beautiful energy I can be every day of my life. I'm not afraid of the ups and downs, and I'm not afraid of touching rock bottom sometimes, because I know that that's part of the path, and that's a way of transformation to get to the next level. Basically, I lost my fears. And here I want to talk about fear a little bit. Imagine that fear is just an emotion, but the biggest part of humanity is ruled by the fears. Fear is an emotion in your body that you can release and transform into faith, confidence, and power, into drive and motivation. And you can do that simply by working on your mindset. If I tell you that with simple techniques you can get rid of all those fears, Maybe you wouldn't believe that, but I have seen that happening with hundreds and thousands of people. So imagine the state of fear is an emotional state, is not you. And when you push through your fear, you push through your comfort zone, and then you conquer a new chance to live your life fully by simply just processing your fears. Your life will change completely. And the reason why I'm talking about my own method and my own technique is to show you the way that there is a way to get through. There is a way to discover yourself, and you have to do that in order to find your path, in order to self-connect, in order to get out of this feeling and being lost. And that's how the world will change. Imagine this new empowered you where you're self-aware, aware of life, aware of people, and you are in charge of your power, and you hold space for your life, for your decisions, for your plans, goals, and dreams. Because you are confident enough, because you know things from inside, because you are in this deep state of self-connection. That's what I'm teaching. I can also explain how I work, and if you want to work with me, this is the way to go. I'm not mainstream. I'm not looking for impulsive buyers. I want people who are ready. And even if those people feel ready, they might still not be ready. So if you want to work with me, I take private and I take group training. You can join the waiting list. And then when the training starts, it starts with a catch-up training, meaning that we prepare your system, your mind, heart, and soul, and you get the basic knowledge about yourself to be able to start this journey. You will also have to develop a daily routine with very basic techniques like 1 affirmation a day, 1 meditation a day, and then a little bit of self-reflection. It's very simple, it's very easy, but even that by itself will change your life tremendously. We work on key topics like self-connection, self-esteem, self-confidence, grounding, developing inner balance. And you get to know the very basics around these topics. And then there are some people for whom this will be enough because they don't want to work that hard. They just want to feel okay. And then there's the people who want more and who are ready, and they can come with me towards developing senses. So there will be people who will stop by this preparation section, which is 2 months. And in these 2 months, you will see if you are ready to move forward, if you are ready to take the next step. And if you are not ready, it's okay to still take your time and then maybe join by the next round or the 3rd round, or just stay with this because still you don't feel ready, maybe in 5 years. And that's okay. I'm not pushing you. I want you to rely on your inner voice, on your gut feeling. And then there are the people who are ready, and with them we dive into ourselves. That's the Quantum Leap program, and I call it Quantum Leap because it really gives you a quantum leap in your life. It opens your horizon, it opens the whole space of you from inside and outside. And as you change from inside, the world from outside will change. Your decisions, your mindset, your energy level, your self-awareness. You become more and more focused. You do the self-work every day. You process a little bit. You take and you use those techniques every time whenever there's the situation. And all that as a part of a community, and also with my guidance. So there's live sessions, and then I'm answering questions, and then we remove those concerns and fears, and we learn processing emotions. We learn developing emotional balance. We start to understand our mind, our heart, our soul, read into it deeper and deeper. We start stepping into our power. We start understanding the nature of our problems and what's in the background, how you can shift your energy level to sort out your problems, to take all the challenges and to walk the straight path. Because a lot of people don't walk the straight path. They are avoiding fears and challenges because they are not able to cope with those. And then they wonder why they are lost. I teach you how to work yourself through your weaknesses, how to map up and understand yourself. But at the core of everything is reading and opening your senses, aligning with your soul and aligning the mindset and your mind with your soul. And then the heart gets aligned too. And then for a lot of people, these states of depression, anxiety, and feeling lost will disappear. And then you have access to this inner fire, this inner source of energy. You will become unstoppable. I would describe this process more as similar to a baby's development. So first of all, you're a baby and you're completely helpless. You're exposed to your mother and you're breastfed. You have your own needs, you poop, you get your nappy. You need someone to take care of you, and then you become a toddler, and then you grow, and then you learn to walk, and then you learn to use your body, your everything more and more. Then you learn to run, and then you're ready to accomplish more complicated tasks. This is this journey of finding your path. So is a skill that you develop step by step, and you become stronger and more aware. I don't want to hold you depending on me. I want you to be self-sufficient. Some of you need more time, some of you need less time, and that's completely fine. Some of you want to work with others, that's completely fine. But I know that there's some people who need me. I'm glad if you're here that you watched this video so far. I hope that you got insights and you can understand feeling and being lost deeper. If you have further questions, you can ask in the comment section and I will try to answer them. And if you want to join my tribe, if you want to explore this topic with me, you can subscribe to the waiting list and I will announce when the next training starts. But don't forget, you just start an amazing journey of self-discovery. You became a seeker, and being lost is amazing because at least you are aware of it. So from now on, the rest depends on you. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video.